This is Lewis and Harvey Talk Speed and Sport, your home of all things fast and past. I see, great intro. And this week, off the back of our rundown of the final round of the British Touring Car Championship, final few rounds, we've decided to go away and make some predictions for next year.
Yeah, so I mean, some of them are a bit more accurate.
I will say we do not have any insider information and we are not a trustable source. So we are a trusted source for news that have come. We are a trusted source for news that has already come out, but we have zero insider information. But we will use our collective genius to make some accurate predictions.
What did you go for? Right, we'll start off with this. Did you go like actual? Yeah, that's higher chance of coming, or did you kind of go some wishful thinking?
There's a little bit of wishful thinking. A little bit.
But that's good to know, because I ran on purely hope and delusion.
So as expected, I've gone facts and Harvey's gone fiction.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with, firstly, Toka did say they were willing to open the grid up to 2 more teams to increase the grid to 24.
Yeah.
However, I don't think anyone can really afford to run 2 new... I don't think there'll be any new teams.
No, because it's quite expensive.
It is quite expensive. However... We'll start off with, I do think there may be more cars on the grid next year. No new teams, but more cars.
The best with more cars. If we can push it up to 24 cars without a new team.
I don't think there'll be 24, but I think 22, 23 is possible.
Well, if 22, 23 is
which
possible,
I think is a good number.
Is possible.
No. But we'll get started with my predictions up behind us. These are mine.
Let's have a look.
Starting off with mine. We'll start off at the top. The big news, actually, was Dick Bennett, who runs WSR, doesn't he? West Surrey Racing.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading them. They're a lot different to what I've gone with.
Yeah, who has announced that BMW will be going back up to 4 cars, split across 2 teams. So there's Team BMW and presumably MB.
Yeah, MB or Laser Tools, but... Do you reckon they'll do 2 cars? You can they'll stick with the one and go for...
I think there'll be a Jake Hill... I think Jake Hill will still have his Laser Tools liveried car, but it'll be under MB Motorsport.
He's like a privateer, but he's not a privateer at the same time.
Well, he's the defending champion, so I think Laser Tools will still want the livery on it. It's a very nice livery as well.
Nice with the front with like... I think of this. What if we went like black? Like the deal, you know, they had the black. Do you see the Rocket livery that they had?
The Rocket livery,
yeah. Black and solid matte black and white Beamer, beautiful car. Now if they did something similar to that, and they went like black with the gold Laser Tools on it for Hill's Championship, beautiful car.
I'm sure it would be, but to start off, that means Dick Bennett also announced that 2 of their drivers will be staying. And 1 will be going. The one going is...
Morgan.
I think, it's definitely Adam Morgan, because I think his Instagram...
If you got rid of Turkington, you got rid of Hill, you'd be a bit daft.
But I think it's more of his Instagram as well. He sort of like... The way it was presented was... And his...
farewell to the team as a whole.
And his Sicily deals up as well.
Yeah.
Which I believe was that...
Sicily used to be a big... Last year they were a big sponsor for BMW because he had it plastered all across the side of the car.
Yeah, but wasn't it the reason he runs BMWs because he had a 2-year deal in exchange for Sicily equipment. Yeah. He got to run for free in the BMW for 2 years, which is now up. And I think it's time. I think maybe British GT is where he's going to end up.
Something similar to that. I don't think he'll stop racing entirely, but he'll be in somewhere like that.
Yeah, but I've stated Team BMW. I think Colin Turkington will stay on, and I put George Gamble, the Porsche Carrera Cup GB champion. Obviously, he's been around...
He's got the money.
He's been around touring car before, and the big factor for me is he's got the money. But I think that's where I'm going with Team BMW.
I'm glad to know that we both spelled Turkington the same way, because I was toying between the G or just the IN straight.
It includes the G, don't worry.
Yeah, but good, because I'm not great at spelling.
And then MB, I've gone with the defending champion Jake Hill. No reason for him to leave. Physically none. And Andrew Watson, because...
That's a shout.
Well, I don't think he'll stay on at Toyota. He's been very invisible this year.
He had a good season last year. This year was a bit kind of just sat in the midfield.
And I believe...
I don't know why I'm saying it's interesting. I'm pretty sure...
I believe he's managed by MB as well.
No idea.
I believe something to do with... Either way, I'm leaning towards Watson joining BMW from Toyota.
BMW is probably something that could happen.
Yeah, because I think BMW definitely looking at that strongest lineup out of any of them.
Yeah.
Because I think Turkington, obviously, he's the
4-time champion.
He's literally the best number 2 on the grid.
Yeah.
And Gamble's just coming off of winning in the Porsches, and Watson. So at worst, those two can pedal around in the midfield pretty well.
Yeah.
But moving on to the other 2 big teams. Well, the other 2 big teams, Bristol Street Motors and Napa, no changes.
Really?
I don't think they'll...
Exact same Linstead? I've just read how...
Linstead, yeah. Linstead. No, I don't think there'll be any changes. I think the only iffy one for me is Danzelos, but that's down to money.
Funding, yeah.
But when he came in, it was more... Everyone thought it was going to be just for a round, and he ended up finishing the season.
I think he has got the sponsors there to do it.
It's the problem with him is sponsored by Devanti Tyres, which they can't be put on the cars because of something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit crossover. So if he gets that sorted, he's fine.
Yeah, surely. I mean, I see him maybe sticking around another season, if not full season, half season. But
well, I'm not getting that far down the line. This is start of the season. I do definitely think, though...
First race, at least.
Yeah, I do definitely think that overall they'll stay exactly the same. I'll move down a bit. I'll come back to the Toyota in a bit. I think, because this is where the changes. There's a lot of similarities up there, but there's a lot of change down here. I'll go with PMR, Power Max Racing first.
Yeah.
ATS is...
Guaranteed stay.
Yeah.
He loves the team project. He's going to stick in.
Going off his Instagram as well, he kind of announced it.
Many more to come.
I will say Mikey Doble will be staying as well. And then the big interesting one from me that I've said...
An interesting one, really.
Is...
I say an interesting one. We said it last week.
I suggested it last week. Power Max, obviously, very, very successful last year. And I think they will expand to 3 Astras. I don't think they'll... On the Instagram, at @LH_TalkSpeedSport and TikTok, we put up a thing saying, are they going to stick with the Astras? I think they will, because I don't see any coming in with a new manufacturer just yet. They could take over the Fords in 2026, but I don't see that happening just yet.
Yeah, not just yet. They'll stick with the Astras for a bit because, we said, okay, oldest car on the grid.
Yeah.
But, ATS has said before it is technically kind of the newest on the inside.
Yeah. And it is it proved it. It was a very quick car last year.
Yeah, it did prove it. It was a very, very quick car.
But for that 3rd seat, I've gone with Ronan Pearson. Obviously, he left Bristol Street Motors halfway through the year, but it's kind of come out that it wasn't due to funding. It was more due to the fact he signed elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I see there's 2 options for Pearson. I think it's either BMW or PMR. I think PMR might just be a bit more
down his alley.
Yeah. So I've gone with Pearson there, but that is a bit of a shout. And that would be a good lineup, though.
Oh, it'd be a solid lineup.
Pearson was hampered by the fact his Hyundai just didn't work.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. Going down, further down, Unlimited Motorsports, the Cupra, they are talking about also expanding. Out of everything, I think BMW going back up to 4 and Unlimited up to 2 is where it's at the moment. But I've got my Darrell De Leon, obviously. I think he practically owns his car.
Yeah.
He had a fantastic year last year, no reason to move. And this is a bit of a left field choice, but in his vlog, Lloyd said, and actually, not in his vlog, I don't know, I think it was in his vlog, but there have been rumblings that Daniel Lloyd has had offers from both Porsche Carrera and a BTCC drive if he can get the funding. Yeah. And obviously, I don't think he'll have the funding to get into one of the top teams, but Unlimited, I think he can get together enough.
It is a team, I see him wearing the colours of Unlimited. I mean, Unlimited technically took over Team Hard in that sense.
But they run so much better than Team Hard, I'd say.
They are run so much better than Team Hard, so I guess Lloyd falling into that category kind of works.
So yeah, I would go with Dan Lloyd. That one's a bit out there. That's one of there's 2 choices on this list which I think I'm least confident with. Not least confident with, but I'm not 100% on, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Dan Lloyd back, just because he's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And have you seen? Do you watch his vlogs?
No, I don't.
He vlogs his race weekends, which I think is very nice. It's DLR TV, I think. But moving further down, Restart Racing, the other Cupras. Obviously, Scott Sumpton's announced he's leaving.
Yeah, after a year.
And I think, 2 years actually. Raced for them in TCR.
Oh, right.
I believe. But Chris Smiley, I think he'll stay on. I think Smiley had a bit of an underrated year.
Yeah, he did. He had a good season.
He had a quiet year, but I think, he had just a good year.
Good season, just plodding along.
And I've put Callum Newsham, which third in TCR UK. I think that other seat will go to a TCR UK driver.
Yeah.
It'll either go to Carl Broadley, Callum Hutchinson or Callum Newsham.
Carl Broadley will be good to see back.
I don't think it'll be Broadley just because he's been around before and he's doing a lot better in TCR than he has in BTCC. So I think it's more between Newsham and Hutchinson. But I've gone with Newsham, so that would be the only, debut.
Yeah.
Debuting driver. Is he debuted
in BTCC?
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
No, you're thinking of Dave Newsham.
No, close enough.
I wonder if there's actually any relevance.
Relation. Not relevant, it's relation. But I've gone with Callum Newsham and Chris Smiley. And then the hardest one for me is what is going on at Toyota. Yeah. Obviously, they have 4 cars. And I have very little... The one thing I'm certain of is Rob Huff. I've got Huff staying down. The rest of them... mostly LKQ Euro part swap.
A really long name that I think I sacked off putting.
Yeah, I also sacked it off. Mostly because Moffat's had a lot of criticism over the team this year.
Yeah.
That's caused... I don't think people are... I don't see him coming back. As you can... Moffat is the notable omission from that. Because I just don't see him fitting... Maybe I see him going to Toyota Gazoo.
Maybe.
But I don't see him coming back to LKQ just because they're not really on the best of terms. And it's more like you can't really afford to burn bridges in BTCC.
No, you need
so
bridges.
I don't think he'll be back next season. And Josh Cook as well. I've heard some rumblings. I'm not sure how true they are. That his budget might not be fully up.
He's always been on grid kind of, so it'd be good to see him.
Cookie's very good.
He's very good.
But budget... It might be hampering. So that might not even be on the grid, LKQ.
Yeah, I was going to question why I didn't see Moffat, but
that's why I just don't think he'll be able to come back. I think Toyota downsides, and the other one, you see Scott Sumpton up there. That is a bit of a left field choice. However, I think there's some... I'm going with... Firstly, in his Instagram post, I reread it, and it says he will be back in BTCC. So his aim is BTCC. So I see him in 2 places.
What twist he goes either Unlimited or that other MB Motorsport seat?
I see him either... Now, I was about to say, Unlimited is very possible for him. Obviously, driven Cupras last year. But I thought I'd spice it up a bit. And I think he can definitely afford a Toyota seat.
Yeah.
And he didn't have an awful year. He had a quiet year. He wasn't... I think the problem was he wasn't the quickest.
No, he wasn't the quickest.
But he also... didn't get screen time because he just had a habit of keeping it on the track, which is very good.
Yeah.
But it just meant he was kind of invisible last year because he
did. He kind of... It wasn't invisible, but he wasn't...
Well, he wasn't visible.
Yeah.
Even though his car was very nicely coloured.
It's very nice coloured.
Very nice. It's a bit out there.
It is a bit out there. But I'm all for the out there cars.
But I think he might fit into a Toyota spot. But that's my half of the predictions. Now we're moving on. Coming back from the kerfuffle that just occurred.
An absolute mess.
But we are very professional here.
To be fair, this looks even more of a mess.
We are very, very professional here.
Yeah.
We've moved on from my factual predictions, and I haven't seen this.
And willingness.
So we're about to see this for the first time together.
Do you want me to talk us through the chaos?
Talk us through the chaos, yeah.
Right. Start off.
Right. We've gone the same.
Similarities. So we start off with the Beamers. So WSR, Turkington is the obvious choice. Second seat though.
We both like Daniel Lloyd.
I'll back Dan Lloyd in because I'm a fan of Lloyd. I like Lloyd. I met Lloyd in person.
Yeah, I think it comes down to if he can get the funding together. I think it's more likely to see him in a Cupra.
If he was in a Beamer, he'd be up there, he'd be smashing race wins. Race wins and podium.
That team is just a bit cheating, because I think Turkington, Lloyd and Hill could all be fighting up there, and Watson would be, holding up the upper end at midfield.
Yeah, it'd be like a bit of an anchor. MB, obviously.
We agree with.
Hill, Watson, agree with. No change there. Napa, I've gone for a bit of a change.
Well, 3 of them you haven't put any change. You got me Sutton, Camish, Osborne, and then George Gamble. So we both think Gamble will be back, and Lloyd will be back on the grid.
I see Gamble in a Napa Ford. I think,
well, like we said, he's definitely got the money for it.
It's come down to money for me, because I think, Rowbottom's been good. He's not had the best season. He's kind of been.
You think Robo is trying something new?
I don't think he's got the funding for a Napa anymore.
Yeah, no, I disagree. No, I think he's more he wants to. I think.
Yeah, he might have the funding, because obviously he gets sponsors from like Lotus and all them lot.
I think it's more about something new, because in that team at the moment, Robo he's got the potential to fight for titles. He's proved it. He very nearly won.
Yeah, definitely.
In 2019.
No, you're thinking of Camish.
That's Camish. Yeah, never mind. He's definitely.
Every time.
I get him confused. He's definitely got enough, but he's not in that team at the moment. He's behind Sutton and Camish.
He is behind Sutton and Camish, and Osborne. He's a bit of an irrelevant factor, but he's just always been there because the money's got piled into his team.
Well, he's just been in the midfield. He's fitting that category of Morgan and Watson, but he's got the back end of the points for them.
Yeah, seems like should we save Toyotas since we've already touched on them?
No, we'll go to Bristol Street Motors,
Bristol Street Motors.
No change for you either.
No change for me either. I could have sworn I put a change. Apparently not. You know what? I can't even remember my own predictions here, so this is new for me.
Obviously, yeah. But, I think that's the most realistic. Chilton, basically, I think Chilton just lives in that car now.
Yeah.
He's going to be there forever. Ingram, no reason to get rid of.
Nope. Zelos.
Once again, still comes down to funding, but...
Halstead.
And Halstead's got the money.
He owns the team, pretty much.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, him and Plato with that content.
You know what? I was all for the Plato Halstead content.
And the Crazy Kart stuff as well.
Crazy Kart's
coming back for next year, so that pretty much says I think Halstead will be back.
Of course.
Good at PMR, because we actually agree as well.
Good PMR. We agreed.
You don't even remember that we agreed.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember that I agreed, because it took me about 5 attempts to spell Pearson's name.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just had to read it as Pearson.
We're actually more in line than I thought, but...
A bit out at the same time.
Yeah, for some of them. We'll go
down here and sucks up there for now.
We'll get a restart next. Talk me through restart.
Smiley and Max Coates.
I'm not sure who Max Coates is. You have to tell me.
Right. You know what? I've waited. Bang. Yeah, he is. Porsche Cup driver.
Porsche Cup driver.
The red and black Porsche.
I've definitely seen it, because I've been to multiple races
I've definitely seen it. Yeah. Banging driver. Up there. Pretty sure he's nearly had a race in BTCC before. Nearly. But he might have done. I don't know. This is where my knowledge kind of falls a bit short. Yeah.
We learn as we go.
Driver. Smiley and Coates. Smiley sticking. Max Coates in. I think it'd be.
Well, we both agree in that regard that restart's going to get someone from a junior series, not a junior series obviously, but
a different series
from one of the support series.
Yeah.
But going on to Unlimited and Duckham's, I see some similarities with what we've discussed.
I do. Yeah. See, I went all right with Max and DeLeon.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
And then I went a bit left swing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just done that.
Yeah, left swing.
Left swing. So, obviously, Lee Duncan. We spoke to the fella.
We have
already. Check out the previous videos just before this.
At LH_Talkspeed Sport on Instagram. See the whole thing, and on YouTube.
And on TikTok.
Yeah.
And on X.
We are. We're on everything. But yeah, I think Lee Duncan. He said, I think it has been rumoured, but I think it's more likely that because he wants to be the first sim to reel, it's more likely that it's a few years before we see any talk of it. I think Scott Something's a lot more likely.
I think it might do some racing in another series before. And then have it. Give it.
I seen he's tested in the Team Brit McLaren.
Yeah.
Not Kill. But I think it's more likely we see Scott Something over there as well. I just went very left field and put him in Toyota.
Yeah, you did.
Speaking of Toyota.
Yeah.
Let's go up Toyota Gazoo Racing. I want to hear your thoughts. Well, obviously, you don't even want to hear your thoughts.
No, I don't even want to hear my thoughts. I want a nap. Huff, Rowbottom, Huff, staying. Got a speedwork sponsor, yada yada yada. He's going to stick. Rowbottom.
The interesting one.
The interesting one. I don't think things are going to stick with him and Napa. I think, yeah, he's done alright in Napa, but...
I think Rowbottom, I think the thing that comes with that is he's kind of behind Sutton and Camish. Yeah. And I think it could really kick his career back. Like, I think he can do really well if it's the resources are more focused on him.
Yeah, definitely.
Which at Toyota I think there would be. So Huff and Rowbottom. Very interesting choice.
Very interesting.
I agree. And but there's the most interesting one. I want to see at the bottom here. 10th team.
With the 3 asterisks.
With 3 asterisks. Firstly, what car?
What car? Hear me out. Honda.
A Honda?
A Honda Civic.
Honda Civic.
Yeah.
They used to run them not long ago.
Yeah. Do you want to know my original idea?
What was your original idea?
Plato Nick Halstead team.
Plato Nick Halstead team?
Yeah. Simple. Car number 99, Plato. Car number 69, Halstead. Because they've got that kind of joking in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the front of the bonnet of Plato's car, a big sticker of Nick Halstead's face.
Yeah.
On the bonnet of Halstead's car, a big sticker of Plato's.
Are you sure you weren't on the boozer before you made this list?
Hey, look.
That's a not no.
It was a good little prediction, right?
But the more realistic one.
I mean, obviously, Plato's got his little fireman career or his special acting career going on. But that might not work. So he might want a team.
But you said Honda for a 10th team.
Honda for a 10th team. And
Thompson and Newsham. Yeah. I think Thompson very much depends on budget.
It does.
It's very iffy on budget, I think.
It's very iffy on budget.
But we both agree that Callum Newsham might actually get a spot.
Yeah.
TCIK. I think, yeah.
I think he could get a spot.
I think we both seem to think so. And then Bobby Thompson, very much dependent on funding, but would love to see him back on the grid.
I would love to see him back on the grid because all of the fellas are mint.
Well, I think Bobby Thompson can break into the Sutton, Ingram, Hill kind of top 3 mould. I spoke
to Bobby Thompson a bit ago. I did a little scholarship thing for Team Hard. Never went anywhere, if you can't tell. And I spoke to the fella and he was like trying to give me some tips on how to do racing and never put any of them into plan. But he gets some good tips.
He's a good...
a lot of it was about sponsor.
Yeah, which... That's the one thing stopping Bobby Thompson really, challenging for a title, I go as far to say. But that is it for both of our predictions for the grid next year. Yeah. I will reiterate, there's no insider information here. This is pure what we think. But if something... If this ends up being right...
Oh, right, if we get a 10th team in, give me an MB right now. A Nobel Peace Prize. I want it. You give me
a knighthood. If you get a Honda back, that's what we need to do next week. Talk about sponsors which we think could run teams.
Yeah.
Go over that. Well, have a little section on that.
I'm not getting all the images. You can start that.
Have a little section on that. But yeah, that is it. For what we think, there's some similarities there with what both of us think, especially Watson at MB and Pearson at PMR. But that is it for the grid predictions.
Yeah.
And yeah. We'll see you next week.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah?